There are two types of people when it comes to personal development. Person A just wants to learn the information and apply it to themselves, which is totally fine. And then there's person B who wants to learn and help others do the same. To person A, I want to say, in this video, I give you 100% of everything involved in my course of I Am the Author. If you go through it, take notes, and invest the time to apply it, you will know exactly what to do. And in the description link, I even included all the PDF downloads to help you even more. Like I said, free means 100% free. I don't even need your email to give you the downloadable links. As a matter of fact, if you go to my YouTube channel, The Clarifiers, you can watch my 12-part video series to see exactly how the course came to life. Again, it's free, my gift to you. To person B, I'd highly suggest that you go through this course here on YouTube, and once you've gone through it, click the link in the description and choose your next step. The one-on-one coaching will speed things up the most, and you can get the group coaching or the in-depth training course with private Facebook group access. Why am I giving 100% free access to this life-altering content? Well, I have a big goal. I want to get at least 16% of the American population to know how this skill works. And I want to focus my energy on raising leaders in local communities to help spread this powerful knowledge. So if you want to share this powerful knowledge after you check it out, jump on board and I'll see you on one of the calls. If you're the kind of individual who values personal development and improving your life, then this video is for you. In this series, you'll learn how to discover your brain's programming, how to hack into your subconscious code, and rewrite the code. Brace yourself because this will be an epic journey. This will be a 3-part series. Part 1 is the investment pillars. Part 2 is the vision, and Part 3 is the 3 pillars. Part 1, 4 investment pillars. Before jumping into the course, there's something you must understand about the journey of developing yourself. Personal development is just like going to the gym. You'll have to develop 4 investment muscles. Think of them as your pillars, and they're in no particular order. First, the muscle of investing money into yourself. If you don't pay, you will not pay attention. Trust me, I've tried this so many times in my life. I've paid anywhere from nothing to $1 for a course and all the way to $7, $9, $13, $20, and even $24,000 for a course. The more I paid, the more I paid attention. Start investing into those courses and take them seriously. No one course changed my life completely, but each one had a huge impact. Start getting rid of that fear by starting to invest into yourself financially little by little. Pillar 2, the muscle of investing time. Now that you bought something, you must put in the time into learning. If you haven't been putting aside time to study, you might feel scatterbrained at first, and that's totally normal. Start with a few minutes today and slowly grow the time you set aside for your education as you move forward. The 3rd pillar and muscle. With knowledge comes responsibility, and that responsibility is transforming the knowledge you're gaining into habits. Developing new habits takes time, dedication, and a willingness to develop your willpower and the power to create a vision for yourself. The 4th muscle, pillar number 4, is mentoring. Learning and applying to your life is awesome. But if you want to take your life to the next level, then learning how to explain what you know is taking your life to the moon. To be a great mentor will require the development of the first 3 pillars. The vision in 5 easy steps. At our core, all of us want to create a better life for ourselves and the people around us. To achieve this, I created a 5-step process to help you achieve this goal of helping others while helping yourself. To go from just hearing the information to being able to teach it to others in your circle of influence. Step 1. First, we become the student. This is where we learn the information for ourselves. This is like getting a 50,000-foot view out of the airplane over a forest. Step 2, then we learn how to actually apply the process to our own life. We must first get it before we can teach it to someone else. Now we're getting into the forest amongst the trees. Then we create accountability, a mastermind. Most of us need to be in a group of people where like-minded individuals come together to achieve a common goal. Life can get in the way, as they say, very easily. However, if we have someone pushing us forward, the more likely we'll achieve our goals. So in this step, you create a board of directors for yourself of no more than 6 people. In step 4, you commit to teaching what you already learned and apply to your life to at least one other person. This is where you find someone who will sponsor you so you can actually graduate. I use the word sponsor instead of student because when your sponsor lets you teach them what you know, they are helping you solidify your knowledge instead of you just teaching some information to them. Now you've officially found a sponsor and completed steps 1 through 4. You are now a graduate. Congratulations. And you are ready to teach the people in your circle of influence the same journey you just completed. Part 2. The 3 pillars to reprogramming your mind. Pillar 1. The 50,000-foot view. There is one concept I want you to walk away with today. The basic premise of all success. If you want to succeed at anything in life, all you need to know is the following concept. Once you understand and apply it, you can achieve all your wildest dreams. And it's as simple as knowing the first 2 letters of the alphabet. Step 1, you need to know where you are today. Step 2, you need to know where you want to be. And between them is the ladder to achievement. This is success in its simplest form. It doesn't get any more complicated than this, guys. B, the big takeaway from pillar 1 is this. When you think about something long enough, over time, by law, it will eventually come into reality. As Earl Nightingale said, we become what we think about most of the time. Dr. Thurman Fleet said, mind is an activity, not a thing. No one has ever seen the mind. However, we must have an image or there is no order in the mind. He said, I will create an image and eliminate the confusion. So he took a circle and drew a line in the middle of it. The top half represents the conscious mind and the bottom part represents your subconscious mind. What exactly are they? Well, glad you asked. The conscious mind is where you have physical senses like sight, smell, taste, hearing, and touch. The subconscious mind is what keeps your body functioning. This is where your habits live, your ability to walk, talk, or drive. Your subconscious allows you to complete complex things without making you think about them consciously. Kind of like you breathing right now and listening at the same time while watching a video and making sense of it all. Here is how life's greatest secret works. You think a thought and then you say to yourself, I want so-and-so, or I want thought A. Now, this thought, if you focus on it with a strong desire and emotions, well, now the thought becomes a true desire. Your brain's thoughts are nothing more than a form of waves we send out into the world. Now, the exciting part starts to happen. All of a sudden, things seem just to start happening around you to help your thought A come to life. Thing 1 leads to action 2 to 3, 4, and 5, and now life is coming together to create an environment where desire A can become the outcome in your life. More often than not, the experiences we go through only sets up the environment for thought or desire A to come to life. Sometimes your desires do come to life fairly quickly. However, since we live in a world of cause and effect, desire A leads to only the potential of A coming to life after a string of events. Think of it as a setup for thought A to be made real. This is where most people get tripped up in life. They falsely believe that just because they thought about it and they went through this whole experience that they will automatically get thought A since they went through this whole experience. This right here is what's called an experience. Now, the experience happened so that your thought A could become reality, right? But because we aren't taught this knowledge as kids, most of us are cursed by the lack of this knowledge. After we go through an experience, what most people will naturally do is either get stuck in the emotions of the whole experience or zero in on just one of the events of the whole experience. Now that we're stuck in the emotion of the experience, we go on blaming the players of the game instead of taking 100% authorship of the whole event. Because we go on this blame game on blaming everyone else, we completely lose the brilliance of how our most powerful tool, our mind, actually created the whole experience to begin with. So the only thing we learn from the whole journey is maybe 1 or 2 lessons like, I'm going to avoid this or that individual. Full of emotions from the experience, and at best, taking away just 1 or 2 lessons, you have just created what I call a boom moment. Going forward, this experience becomes part of your subconscious programming. It becomes a line of code in your brain. And then, in your future, at seemingly random times in your life, this code will resurface and extreme moments of emotional distress usually become the outcome. Think about it. I bet you can easily remember a time when you tried something new and quit because your internal dialogue won out and got you to quit doing whatever you were doing, which was most likely you were trying to achieve and create a better life for yourself. In this course, you will learn the exact steps of how to take these boom moments and use them just like a gauge in a car for fuel, temperature, speed. You'll learn the exact steps of how to look at your life events as neither positive or negative. You'll learn how to tap into your old programming, hack into that code, and rewrite it to help propel you forward instead of holding you back. By looking at your boom moments simply as a gauge, you'll learn to see exactly how you authored them. As you master this skill, you'll be able to take your boom moments, your bad, overwhelming, overpowering memories, and turn them into BAM moments where you become an awareness master. Welcome, because now you've started the journey of rewriting your old programming. Pillar 2. The forest floor. The ultimate success secret. Anything and everything you need to know about success is summarized in the following image. All of success is incredibly basic at its core. You have to first know where you are, your starting point, and then all you need to know is where you want to be, where you're going. As long as you can see A and B clearly, then all your wildest dreams will become true. However, it gets tricky when the order of things gets switched up. And the first 3 letters of the alphabet will help us out a little bit here. In life and success, you first have to see where you are and then see where you want to be. And only then can you move on to the letter C. This is why changing your programming is said to be so difficult. It's like trying to learn the alphabet backwards before you can understand letter A. It'd be very confusing and you'd eventually give up. But once you see where you are and where you want to be, it becomes very clear on what steps you need to take to achieve your desired outcome. As you see, success is very simple. And because it is so simple, Jim Rohn once said, "What is simple to do is also simple not to do." With success, what is simple to understand is also easy to confuse. So let's dive right into block 10 from the previous pillar. You just had a boom moment. What is a boom moment? Let's jump a little more into this. Let's say one day you're working on a goal, something you've been working on for months, and then out of nowhere you get a domino of thoughts and all of a sudden you're sitting there feeling like you just want to quit. You're totally caught blindsided. Imagine the last time a thought like this overwhelmed you or took over your brain or a serious self-doubt came bubbling up. You might have been just sitting around enjoying a cup of coffee and boom, it hits you, a wave of emotion. And now you're thinking of quitting, feeling like your goal is too much and you should just give up. This is a boom moment. It's like an emotional roller coaster. Try to imagine your mind as a ship and you're the captain and all of a sudden this boom moment kicks you to the side and guess what? That boom moment is the new captain. Your emotions have just taken over. This boom moment is what I like to refer to as the last domino. If you ever seen dominoes falling, all you have to do is hit the first one and all the others will eventually get triggered and fall over. And in this case, the last domino in the chain of dominoes is what I call the boom moment. Now, The thing about dominoes is that one domino can take another one down twice its size. This is called the doubling domino effect. So if you're starting out with a 1-inch domino, in just 8 dominoes, the last one is going to be over 10 feet tall. And when the last one falls, you're on the receiving end. All that wind just rushing at you, and boom, there you are. The big catch about boom moments is that they come at their own pace and on their own schedule. The awesome thing about these domino moments is to realize them for what they truly are. And what they are is just a program running in your brain. In other words, it's a line of code. And the line of code is like magic. You can go back to any line of code and rewrite it to give you a new outcome. Now, let's jump into block 1 of pillar 1 and take a deeper look into what our brain looks like and how it functions. Because once you understand that and plug in the previous knowledge, you can make a huge difference in your life. Let's revisit the quote from pillar 1. Dr. Thurman Fleet said, "Mind is an activity, not a thing. No one has ever seen the mind. However, we must have an image or there is no order in the mind." He said, "I will create an image and eliminate the confusion." This is just the first part of what Dr. Thurman drew, and I'm only going to use this part because it's the part that we need to understand how to recode our brain. He drew a circle and divided it in half with a line. The top part is the conscious mind, and the bottom part is the subconscious mind. There's another amazing quote that beautifully describes how our brain functions. I heard it in a video with Bob Proctor. I'm not sure if he was quoting somebody. I couldn't find the who said it, so I'll just attribute it to Bob Proctor. He said, "The part of our mind that gathers knowledge, which is the top part, is not the part that controls the instrument in which we're living in, which is the bottom part. So, the top part gathers information where the bottom part, it controls us. The conscious mind, in which ways does it gather information? Through our 5 senses like sight, smell, taste, hearing, and touch. The subconscious mind does all the controlling. And the interesting thing is, this happens to be where all the boom moments originate from. This is where our triggers and emotions live. Just look back at the last time this happened to you. Most likely, it was something seemingly small that caused the domino effect in that day. You could have stubbed your toe and ended up feeling like quitting your job because you were so wound up. Let's take a little deeper look into how our brain works. On a daily basis, our mind has about 70,000 thoughts a day going through it. Out of those 70,000 thoughts per day, only 5% of them are original thoughts. Remember, those mostly come from our sight, smell, taste, hearing, and touch, whereas the rest of our 95% of thoughts are old thoughts. One powerful fact to remember is this. Our conscious mind can only process about 2,000 bits of data a second, while our subconscious mind can process 40 trillion bits of data a second. It's running everything in the background and tries to make things as simple as possible. And remember, it takes a lot of juice and energy to run our conscious mind. So, the kicker is this. Guess what else resides in our subconscious mind? The domino effect. And most of the time, you aren't even aware of the dominoes that are coming down. It's all working in the background without you knowing, and just boom, it seems to happen. Where in reality, it was working and happening long before you got your boom moment. And all that this domino effect is just your current code running. So, it's a code running to produce a certain feeling in your body. Once you have an experience and you get connected to the emotion of your experience and you liked it, believe it or not, we can get just as addicted to positive emotions as much as negative emotions. We can get addicted to hatred as much as we do to love. So like I was saying, once you have an experience and you get connected to the emotion of your experience and you liked it, it becomes a line of code in your subconscious mind that will be triggered because it produces a specific feeling your body wants to feel. So, you experience a boom moment, which is another way of saying a line of code started running. Why? So that it can produce a specific feeling. Now, why in the world is this happening? Simply because our bodies love consistency. The less we think about it consciously, the more it becomes habitual. And once a habit, you can be sure that it will continue happening again and again until you move your way backwards and catch your programming and find the code and rewrite it. So you might be wondering, okay, Alexi, I want to change my code. What do I do? What if I want to change? Let me ask you, have you ever met a person who did not want to change anything in their life? Was there any moment in your life where you didn't want to improve your life? This is what it means to be human. We always want to strive for a better life. We always want to improve. We always want to change. And what happens is this. Let's draw the circle and line again. 5% of our thoughts are new thoughts coming in through our conscious mind, while the other 95% are old thoughts in our subconscious. So we use our conscious mind and create a desired outcome that we want for our lives. This is what most of us are taught to do. We create a desire and apply willpower to make it a reality. Kind of like when people commit to going to gyms in January but quit in February. All those people got excited, applied desire and a whole bunch of willpower. And when they ran out of willpower, they quit the gym and their dream of being slim, slender, or fit. The thing about willpower is that eventually it runs out. Every morning we wake up, we start out with a full tank of willpower. And as the day moves on, our willpower tank runs out. Once willpower runs out, as someone said, nature abhors vacuum. With no desire and willpower to back your original desire, you go back to what? Well, there's only one thing to go back to, your old programming, which is sitting in your subconscious mind waiting for you to quit. For example, if before you made a decision, your mind, in your subconscious mind, you were saying, I am fat. So you make a decision, you say, I want to get skinny. I go to the gym, then I run out of willpower, and then you go back to old programming, which is, I'm fat, therefore, you get fat again. The key coming in for the touchdown is to catch one line of code at a time as they arrive, so that you can take apart the dominoes. Quick recap. All of us want to achieve success and create a better life, and this process is about learning to catch your boom moments, which are actually a domino effect. And since it's a domino effect, you can work your way back to the first domino. In essence, you are systematically writing down what the actual code is in your brain. Once you learn how to do this, you can rewrite the lines of code so that your program can spit out different results. Catch your feelings, reprogram the meaning, rewire your brain, and now the outcomes will be completely different, even when the same thoughts flood back into your mind unexpectedly. There is a big danger in trying to change yourself using only willpower. You set yourself up for failure. And what's even worse is when you try to change the same thing a few times in a row and fail. Well, now that you failed, now you just created a new false belief that you're a failure in that one particular thing. Using desire plus willpower is you trying to apply 2,000 bits of data to overpower 40 trillion bits of data a second. The numbers just don't add up. You will fail. But once you start catching your programs and rewiring your code, you will succeed in everything you set out to achieve. Here we are at Pillar 3, where the rubber hits the road. This is where we shift gears from learning to doing. If you apply what you learn in this pillar, you will become a master at taking the old paradigms in your mind and rewrite the code to massively benefit your life going forward. So, let's begin. This pillar is divided into two parts, the concepts and then the process. So, here we are, the concepts. The last domino just fell and you're experiencing a boom moment. Your emotions just took over and now you are no longer the captain of your mind. Emotions are the captain. What do I do? The first thing you want to do is quickly remind yourself that the domino effect is here to help, not hurt you. The whole experience is like a doctor operating on you. It might hurt initially, but in the long run, the operation is meant to help you in a big way. Step 2, go take a walk. Take a short break. Just take a breather. Grab a cup of tea, coffee, or whatever you like to drink. Then, grab a pen and paper, sit down, and start out by writing down the last domino, the boom moment that you just experienced. For example, a while back I was doing some in-depth studying. After about a month, one day the thought just hit me seemingly out of nowhere. This is stupid, Alexi. Who would listen to you? Who would want to listen to you? Others are already doing this and they've probably done this exact same thing. Just quit, give up, and get a normal job like everyone else. So I took a brief walk, got a cup of tea, wrote down that feeling, and worked my way back as to where in the world it came from. After about half an hour, I was able to track back to every little domino until I realized what set it off to begin with. That day, I didn't consciously remind myself of the purpose and the reason why I was doing all the in-depth studying for. Going forward, I reminded myself every morning as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. That boom moment turned into a useful tool instead of a hurtful situation. In this step, what you're trying to accomplish is uncover your thought process that led up to your boom moment. The goal in this step is to take the domino effect and transform it into a tool that empowers you instead of disempowering you. By working your way back, you become 100% aware of your thought process. As we saw earlier, this is part 1 of how you actually go through and catch the programs running in your subconscious mind. Let me share a few different types of dominoes most people have, and this is not a complete list, but an example of 9 types of false beliefs, current programs that can be running in your subconscious mind. 1. False beliefs about yourself or other things. For example, this comes out as, I can't start a business because I failed 2 other times, or it's hard to start a business. Then there's second guessing yourself, putting yourself down or undermining yourself. It comes out like when you say, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, or I'm not pretty, I'm fat, I've got a bad memory, or you doubt your capacity or capability to achieve something. The third one is bad old programming. For example, I have nothing against religion, but there could be some bad religious beliefs. You might believe that others determine you if you succeed or fail in something. Another bad old programming is something like, be seen and not heard. Fourth one is past negative experiences. This is when we say, okay, it's other people's fault that I failed. It's their fault, not mine. So past negative experiences. Fifth one is lack of motivation, questioning yourself, or asking, why am I doing this? For example, one day you just might feel like quitting, or you might see no purpose in continuing doing what you're doing. Or like I shared, you just feel overwhelmed all of a sudden. The sixth type of domino is you feel like you're an extra in your own movie, as Bob Proctor says. You believe others are better and more worthy of success than you are. You believe that you will always just be a floor sweeper, and that's it. No more is to be made of your life. The seventh one is start-stop. Example, you set a goal like gym, you want to go to gym, then you do it for a little bit, and then you quit soon after, and then you do that year after year after year. Then there's old habits/routines. It's, for example, when you say, well, this is how I am, this is how I always did it, and this is how I always did things. The ninth one is you just might be hungry, tired, or overwhelmed. Take a break, take a rest, go eat, go take a nap, or sleep. Quite often I realized this was the case for me, so I learned the signs of my body, and I took the rest and ate when I needed to. Now we are deep into the process and have come up to part 2 of the application journey. There are 6 steps to this journey. Here's a brief recap. At first, you think a thought A. Then this thought goes out into the world in the form of a frequency and starts to attract the people and experiences into your life to make that thought a reality. At this stage, you start to meet people and see new opportunities to make thought A a reality. Once enough puzzle pieces have come together, thought A can be finally made reality. So, success in anything is a 3-step process. A, you think. B, things start coming together. C, either an outcome happens, or more often than not, you are set up so that thought A can become a reality in your life. C, either an outcome happens, or more often than not, you are set up so that thought A can become a reality in your life. Step 1. This is where you ask the question, what did I actually want to create in A before the incident in B that the experience allowed me to accomplish? Again, what did I actually want to create before the incident that the whole experience allowed me to accomplish? This will most likely feel like a huge question. Most people feel overwhelmed by it and don't even know where to begin here. This is totally normal, and I'll be honest with you, this is where most people let their hands down and stop the journey. The reason most people give up is because this portion of the journey requires a skill few of us are taught. Again, it's not your fault for not having this skill. We have to be taught this skill before we can use it in our life. It's the skill of being able to see yourself from a third-person perspective. If you know how to do this, awesome. I am very, very happy for you. Congratulations. If you want to learn how to do this, I offer one-on-one coaching or group coaching to help through this process. Click the link in the description and you can see if this is a good financial fit for you. The other reason most people give up on this journey is because they are not surrounded by the right people. They are not part of a mastermind of like-minded individuals who can encourage you to keep going when the desire to give up is the strongest. Okay, so going back to the question, what you're trying to get your mind to recall is that original thought you had that set everything into motion. This step takes a bit more time because right now you're at point C and have to work your way back to catch your original thoughts and desires, aka your program, so that you can observe it and effectively rewrite the code. Now that you've uncovered your very original thought, we can go to step 2 of this journey. This is where you see the whole journey. You clearly see what your original thought and desire was. You clearly see what the outcome was because of your original thought. And you can clearly see your current programming running in your subconscious mind because of it. The big goal in this step is to clearly see that you are the author of the whole experience. You want to get to the point where you can honestly say to yourself, wow, I am the author of thought A and all these experiences that followed it. You want to see clearly that your thought created your current reality. In step 3, the goal is to reframe B, the whole experience, as neither positive nor negative. The goal is to reframe experience B that it was helpful in creating thought A to come to reality. Step 4 is more of an affirmation, a reminder. It comes in 2 parts. Part 1. First, you have to believe that it's true that your thoughts create your experiences. The whole experience was simply nudging you towards your ultimate desire of thought A. Part 2 is, this is where you jump from simply believing it's true to knowing that this is true. By being a detective of your experiences, you'll start to see and realize the truth that you are the author of all of your experiences. This is the second to last step of the whole journey. Sadly, this is where most people jump to without applying everything else that we just went through. This step has 2 parts to it. This is where you finally ask yourself, what lessons did I learn about the situation and about myself? By default, this is where the average mind will jump to. Imagine all you get out of an experience is at best 1 or 2 lessons if you do this. Talk about a loss of personal potential vanishing into thin air. Again, let me remind you, please don't blame yourself for not knowing how to do this. If the people in your life never taught us how to do this, it means they were never taught the information. So, here we are on the very last step, step 6 of 6. You end the whole process on an affirmation. In other words, a reminder. 1. Don't blame the players. Take on the responsibility because you are the author of your experiences. And 2, in your life, you are both the director and the actor. You are the director and the script writer. So, you just need to learn how to become a better director. And this, dear friend, is how you discover your programming, hack into your code in the subconscious mind, and rewrite the lines of code to create a higher quality life. As I shared with you at the beginning of the video, if you want to learn even more, click on the link and you'll see exactly how to get more, be it one-on-one coaching or group coaching. When you click on this link, you'll either get to check out what we offer or download the free PDFs. Dear Clarifier, I wish you an awesome journey of clarifying your life. Thank you very much for joining today. Make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share it with your family and friends who you know will benefit from this information. Thank you, and until next time, peace.